Hey y'all, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm going to bring you some recipes from this cookbook I have. I found this 1953 cookbook from Better Homes and Gardens. I love these cookbooks. My grandmother used them, my mother used them, and she gave me some of hers, but I've never had one from 1953, so I'm excited to share some recipes with you. Now this video is a part of a cozy fall food collab, and it's hosted by two of my favorite people on YouTube. There's Tiffany from Small Town 6 and Valerie from Valerie Hargett. So I will have their information listed down below in the description box and also the playlist. So you'll get some great fall meals or even some Thanksgiving ideas. So I'm excited to bring you the recipes from this book. So let's go ahead and get started.
I wanted to kind of find some recipes that you would make for Thanksgiving and just make them a little bit more homemade and a little bit more vintage. So I found this Snappy green beans and I thought I would try that one, and it turned out so good. Y'all have got to try this one. And I just took 2 slices of bacon, and it says to cook it slightly. I would cook it a little bit more if you like crunchy bacon, but I could not stay out of that bacon. And I've got 1 onion and a green pepper. I'll have the exact recipe linked down below in the description box, and I think this would be really good with some mushrooms too. And I just cooked that until the green beans and the onions were soft. It calls for 2 cups of green beans. I had canned, but I don't really like the taste, so I found some green beans in my freezer. But this only was about 1.5 cups. So if you use the frozen, just know that that's not going to be quite 2 cups. I added the salt, but I had to go back and add a little bit more salt because it was not salty for my taste anyway. And now I'm adding the cream. I'm just adding it into tablespoons because I didn't want to dirty up another container. And I'm just stirring that up. It says to serve it immediately, but my green beans were still kind of not cooked, so I cooked mine just a little bit longer and kind of caramelized it, and I think it was even better. And now I'm going to try this scalloped corn. It's kind of like one of those Jiffy corn muffin mixes with the corn, like a corn casserole, but this one was way better. And I added 1 can of cream corn and 1 can of regular corn, and then I added some milk to it. It says salt and pepper. It didn't say how much, so I just added it to taste, and I stirred that around. And now I'm going to add some peppers and onion, and it just called for green pepper or pimentos, but I added some green pepper and red pepper since I had that cut up in my refrigerator. And I thought this was nice and colorful, and it would probably be pretty for Christmas too. I think next time I would add even more peppers and onions in it. And now I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. It said crackers or breadcrumbs. I didn't have quite enough panko, but next time I'll add more to it. And I'll also add some to the top because I thought it needed a little bit more crunch, but it was still delicious. And this was like an old-timey corn casserole, and it was so good. And I just buttered my baking dish, and I'm adding that corn in there. I'll just spread it out in my dish. I'm also going to add dots of butter. It's 2 tablespoons. And next time I will put some breadcrumbs on the top and then put the butter down. But this will go in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. All right, now we're going to start on dessert. These were the best cookies. So easy to put together, and we loved them. And definitely I will make these for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And I've got a bag of pecans. It said to chop up 1 cup. I would definitely do more than 1 cup. I think it needed a little bit more. And this is a hack for you. If you have a lot of nuts to chop, put them in a bag. This is a game changer. I hate putting them on a cutting board. They just fly everywhere, and it takes forever to chop them up. And I can even do this with 1 hand. So I highly recommend this hack if you have a lot of nuts to chop. So now I've got my butter and my shortening cream together, and I'm going to add some brown sugar to that, and then I'll mix that together. And then it adds 2 well-beaten eggs. So I will put the eggs in that brown sugar and shortening and butter mixture and mix that together. And then I'll add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. It also has some salt in there and soda. I'll have that all that information linked down below in the description box. So now I'm going to add my pecans and get those incorporated in the dough, and we'll put them in the oven. The recipe said to use 1 teaspoon, but I think they needed to be a little bit bigger. They did cook a little bit too much. So when I made them a little bit bigger, they were perfect. So just make sure that you don't make them too tiny. And make sure you grease your cookie sheet. And I baked them for about 12 minutes on 350 degrees. And this corn casserole was so delicious. You've got to try that, and I'll add even more crumbs next time. But it was just like an old-fashioned type of recipe that my grandmother would make for us. You didn't have all the soup mix or the Jiffy corn muffin mix. It was just delicious. And that bacon, I could not stop eating it. But I did cook this down, and the green beans kind of caramelized, and this was delicious. I think you could add some mushrooms to this, some Parmesan cheese, and it would just set it over the top. And these cookies, I cannot say enough about those cookies. We ate every one of them that I baked that night. They were that good. So I highly recommend all these recipes. They were delicious, easy to make. They were kind of an old-fashioned recipe, but so delicious. Make sure you make all these recipes. I will have them down below in the description box. Make sure you make all 3 of them. They were all 10 out of 10. I want to thank Valerie and Tiffany for hosting. I'll have all their information linked down below in the description box, and I'll also have the playlist linked down below and these delicious recipes. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.